Chapter 6. After 3 years in South Africa, Gandhi had become a successful lawyer with a good income. He was also a respected leader in the Indian community. He published a pamphlet titled "The Grievance of the British Indians in South Africa," and appealed to the Indian public. The pamphlet had a green cover. It soon became known as the Green Book. In 1896, Gandhi returned to India for a 5-month visit with his family. He decided that when he returned to South Africa, he would bring his wife and sons with him. Kasturba feared the move to South Africa. She could only speak the Gujarati language. She dreaded being in a place where everyone around her spoke English or another foreign language. She was not sure she could survive such an unfamiliar place. She was also nervous about dealing with all the Muslim friends her husband had made. Kasturba was a quiet, shy woman who took great comfort in family and friends she knew for a long time. But in the end, Gandhi convinced his wife to move to South Africa. In all the disagreements between Mohandas and Kasturba Gandhi, he always won. When Kasturba Gandhi arrived in South Africa, she had to give up her comfortable traditional clothing, the loose-fitting dhoti and sandals. Now she would have to wear more modern clothing and hard leather shoes. The Gandhi family moved to South Africa in 1897. Their third son, Ramdas, was born there. During Gandhi's absence from South Africa, the Green Book had become famous. Although the Indian people loved the pamphlet, the Europeans hated it. Gandhi was attacked by mobs of Europeans on the street. He was struck by rocks, mud, and garbage. He was cut into the neck before he was rescued from the mob. There was a lot of tensions in South Africa between the British and the Dutch. In 1899, full-scale war broke out. It was called the Boer War. Since Gandhi was a British citizen, he felt he had to side with the British. Gandhi did not believe in war, but he volunteered the farm and ambulance corps to help the British wounded. Gandhi and other volunteers carried wounded soldiers off the battlefield. The ambulance corps that Gandhi led consists of American and Indian-born Hindus, Muslims, and Christians. Gandhi hoped the good work done by the volunteers would impress the British. He hoped the British would grant more civil rights to Indians. Gandhi and 38 members of the corps were awarded the South African War Medal for courage. The Boer War ended with a British victory. The Union of South Africa was then established. South Africa withdrew from the British Commonwealth. It was ruled by the Dutch politicians. Kasturba Gandhi had a fourth and last child, Devdas, in 19. Her husband served as a midwife. The Gandhi lived in a villa on the beach. Mohandas Gandhi ruled the family. He did not want a European education for his sons. Instead, he taught them himself. Gandhi was a stern father. His sons respect rather than love him. Gandhi Gandhi himself had a stern father. He was carrying on the tradition. Gandhi forced his family to live a very simple life without luxuries. They washed their own clothing. Gandhi cut his own hair. His friends sometimes said that his hair looked like a rat had chewed on it. Gandhi also made his wife get rid of her jewels, which are very special to her. The worst sacrifice for Kasturba Gandhi was having to empty the chamber pots herself in India. The untouchable did this work for her and all higher caste Indians. Now that this job fell to Kasturba, she felt humiliated. She obeyed her husband but shed bitter tears. In 1901, son Manilo became very ill with typhoid fever, which turned into pneumonia. The doctor prescribed chicken broth and eggs for the children. But Gandhi's firm belief in vegetarianism forbade this. Gandhi treated Manilo himself. He gave his son many hot baths and had him drink orange juice and dilute milk. Gandhi remained at the boy's side for 40 days. Manil finally recovered. Gandhi called it a blessing from God for its own faithfulness to his principles. Chapter 7